you smoke inside, it's like a severe fine. Like something like really crazy. So you can't even smoke in the green room in England if you do like shows.
Right. Yeah. I mostly I don't like smoking indoors because it just, you fucking stink and the secondhand smoke can bother me. But your green room is like really well ventilated also.
Yeah, if you see this big vents in the ceiling in that place when you go in there, we set it up on purpose so that people can smoke in there.
No, I like when you can just watch the smoke just go straight out. You're like, this is nice.
Yeah, because some of the comics smoke cigarettes and, you know, other smoke. And, you know, you want to suck the air out. You don't want everybody to be subject to it.
It's a wet dream in there. Have you had anyone get too fucked up where you're like, dude, you gotta... Because all I think about when I was drinking, if you just had whiskey and booze with, like, help yourself, there's got to be a few people that are going to be problematic at some point.
Everybody's been keeping it together so far.
Okay.
We'll see. We'll see as the crowd grows.
I'm interested. It feels like a kind of thing I come back in a year and it's like there's a safe with all the booze in it and they're like, yeah, fucking so-and-so came in and ruined everybody.
Nah, I don't think there's that many of those super off-the-rail guys left.
I think that's a good point. My wife and I talk about this a lot. But I think maybe because we're older, though. I'm sure there's a bunch of comics in their 20s that really get after it.
Yeah, I bet that's true. Yeah. We just probably don't know them. I'm thinking like established comics. Like, because there was like established comics when I was coming up that were like national headliners that you just knew were off the rails.
Yeah, I actually think it's very difficult to sustain boozing that hard and be successful.
Most of it was coke, was what when someone was like an off the rails guy, like completely out of control, it was booze, but it was a lot of coke.
Right, we ever...
In 300 meters, turn right onto Bosch's Strasse.
No,
me either.
Yeah, that's what I'm just...
I was too afraid of snorting a thing. And then no one ever said good things about coke to me. Until later I heard every once in a while. But mostly people were like, don't do coke, it makes you crazy, your heart's gonna explode. Like, people didn't...
Turn right onto Bosch's Strasse.
Cocaine to me.
Well, it just didn't seem like the people that I saw doing coke were going anywhere. It seemed like it was tripping them.
In 600 meters, turn left onto... Head northwest on Scholkopfstrasse towards Hegelstrasse.
Pretty bad.
In 3...
Right.
I was very fortunate that when I was in high school, my friend, his cousin was selling it, and his cousin got addicted to it. And I watched this guy go from being like a normal guy to being this like person who just like hung out in this attic apartment and lost all this weight and just like they just did coke and watched TV and sold coke, and it's like you got bit by a...
Turn right onto Hegelstrasse.
Yeah. Well, I'm always afraid my heart is going to explode even without doing coke. Like I should have like my heart will race, and I'm just so paranoid about heart. Does heart shit ever fuck you up? Like mentally, that fact that your heart beats every second or whatever for 80 years, and if it stops, that's the end of it.
That's how it works, Joe List.
I know, but does that ever like trip you out a little bit? I mean, I don't want to sound like it's fucking crazy, man, but I'm like, that's nuts.
It is nuts. Yeah, and if it stops, you're dead. And if you get a transplant.
In 500 meters, turn left onto Stuttgarter Strasse.
It's a motherfucker. They're trying to do pig transplants now. They did it on this one guy, and one person, I don't know if it was a guy or a gal or a non-binary folk, like a fisher folk, but they did it, and the person stayed alive for a short amount of time. I think it was like a couple weeks.
So they just jammed a pig heart in there?
It's a modified pig heart, somehow or another. Pig parts and human parts apparently are like super similar in some way.
I fucked a few pigs. Hello, folks.
You son of a gun.
Turn left onto Stuttgarter Strasse.
What does it say here? How long did the man with the pig heart live? He lived for 61 days.
Continue on Stuttgarter Strasse for 1 kilometer.
That's not bad. Researchers have been working on the new pig-to-human transplantation technique for over 30 years. If successful, harvesting hearts from genetically modified pigs whose genes have been altered so they can be safely transplanted to humans may one day be a reality. Wow. I think on the way to that, though, I bet they're going to, like, 3D print hearts.
Yeah, I think so. I think, as scary as AI is, I think all our problems are over, dude. We're going to be... making hearts and brains and all kinds of shit.
Connected to the Matrix, eating steak.
I'm gonna
being an important person, like Joey Pants.
Yeah, we're gonna be great. I'm gonna have perfect eyesight and a strong jawline by the end of the year, I think.
You're not gonna stop there. You're gonna look like He-Man.
I'm gonna go buy a fucking big chest.
You're gonna go Superman. You're gonna go the Hulk. Why wouldn't you? What, do you want to be a fucking human when you can be a superhero? If you can genetically alter yourself to make yourself more like masculine and thick and bigger and stronger, why would you stop at 3 when you can go to 26?
Right. Well, I don't think I could be more masculine, but I do feel like I would like, some more girth and.
But if that could be done genetically, though, where would you stop? That's the question.
Right.
People would get ridiculous. It's like when people don't eat. I mean, I'm sure you've seen those Instagram videos of people with fake butts walking on the beach.
Yes.
Where they just went so far. It's like, what? This is great. You're going to die. That stuff can't be good for you. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I see it all the time. You just look imbalanced. It doesn't look
looks
good.
Insane. It looks insane. It's an insane look. But my point is, like, if they can do that with genetics, if it ever gets to a point where the mold of what we think of as the human physique has been completely thrown out the window, because now we're going to alter it from its very core to be a completely different structure. You're going to just change what a person looks like. People are going to be giants. They're going to be dragons. Like, it's going to be fucking real life cosplay.
Right. Do you think anybody will be like, I'm sticking with this. I'm going long and thin and...
there's going to be a few people that pretend for a little while. Well, those are the same folks that say, I don't even have email. Fuck you.
Right.
You got email now, bitch. You know, like in 2001, you might not have had email. You know, but I bet you have it now.
Yeah, but you have to have it now, I feel like.
Yeah, you kind of have to have it.
In 200 meters, at the roundabout, take the second exit.
I enjoy email. That's my take.
Well, it's certainly better than not having email. I mean, people are like, well, in the privacy, and they're hacking your email, and they're sending you these scams, and yep, that's what comes with this new thing.
Well, I just had a friend who works for some business that was getting, I don't know all the details, nor would I share them if I had them, but their company was getting sued or something, and then they just accessed his emails, and now they have 100% of his emails. So he was saying, like, don't ever email a fucking joke like, hey, I'm gonna kill that guy or anything, because they have it. Like, we should do all phone communication. Maybe they're listening to the phones too, I don't know. But
yeah, I'm sure they are. I think they didn't lock that down quick enough, and when Edward Snowden exposed the NSA's gigantic sweeping surveillance sort of thing, and it's all under the guise of stopping terrorism, which, by the way, you fucking never hear about anymore. What happened to terrorism?
We nailed it.
Climate change took the spot of terrorism.
Well, we stopped it. Patriot Act worked, baby.
It must have.
We did it.
It must have, otherwise they'd be talking about it.
We done did it.
Do you remember when, after 9/11, there would be a threat level, like our code?
Yeah.
Today's code is yellow.
It was like forest fires.
Like, okay, we're good. Yellow's good.
Right.
You know, I have to bring a bulletproof vest to Starbucks.
Yeah, it was scary as fuck. It was like, they really got to us. But they nailed that terrorist attack. I mean, they knocked it out of the park. So
it was certainly, it was like one of the all-time great terrorist attacks in terms of publicity. In terms of like how it affected the world.
It's got to be number one, right?
Yeah, but it's just a crazy thing that an action like that changes your rights forever. Changes everybody's rights forever.
But don't you think, someone was just debating this somewhere, doesn't it feel like COVID feels like it changed life more than 9/11? Like 9/11, it's now like shoes and you can't, at the airport, and you can't go to the gate.
Right.
But other than that, it doesn't really feel that different. Whereas COVID does feel different, where like cities have emptied out and people still wear masks and 6 feet. It's just much more, life feels more different after this than it did 9/11 in my
Well, because COVID got everyone to comply. Hey, Germany, this episode is brought to you by ExpressVPN. Have you ever gotten undressed only to realize you were in front of an open window? How did that make you feel? Exposed? Vulnerable? Well, going online without using using ExpressVPN is like being naked in front of a floor-to-ceiling window. That's because your internet provider can see and record everything you do online. Your internet provider like AT&T or Verizon can see every website you visit. And in some countries, governments can force them to turn your browsing activity into them without a warrant. But it's not just internet providers. If you're using
In 500 meters, at the roundabout, continue straight to stay on Almastrasse.
Wi-Fi at work, at a hotel, Airbnb, or even at home, the owners of that Wi-Fi can also see everything you're up to. Imagine all those people getting a list of everything you've ever clicked on. Kind of worse than being naked in front of a window, isn't it? That's why when I go online, I like ExpressVPN running in the background. Guys, I've been saying this for years. I've talked about ExpressVPN on my show and even on my buddy Tim Dillon's show. If you use the internet in any shape or form, you need to start using ExpressVPN. The app is so easy to use. You just tap on one button and all of my traffic gets sent through a secure encrypted server. ExpressVPN is like tinted windows on my internet connection. I can see out, but no one can see in. So make sure you secure your online activity today with the VPN that I trust to keep me private. Visit expressvpn.com/Rogan today. That's expressvpn.com/ROGAN. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/Rogan. Tap the banner or visit this episode's page to learn more. It got everyone to do things that whoever was on television was telling you to do.
Right.
It became a different thing where there was an experimental medication and you were encouraged to take it. And if you took it, you wanted other people to take it too. Right. There's a fucking thing that people do. When they do something, they want
In 300 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
it too. And especially if they can connect what they did with doing the right thing, they want you to do it. And
Sure.
People do that with everything. They do that with yoga class. You don't think they do that with vaccines?
No, I think this all the time in New York, where you see one person starts crossing the street while the light is green, and literally the entire herd starts following them, and then a car comes like,
You have arrived.
and then they have to jump back because they were just
Head northwest on Almastrasse towards Kifferstrasse.
watching that one person.
Continue for 1.5 kilometers.
Yeah, happens all the time. People go in, well, it's also cell phone brain too.
Right.
Because people are constantly checking their, we're walking now? And they just will walk.
Yeah. Did you know, I heard this recently.
Like, the stories aren't outrageous enough.
Right.
Compared to what's like real online, it's mostly fluff pieces because you have to get celebrities to agree to do them, like Us and People and all those.
Right. I'm blown away by. We were talking about this before you got here. Like, I'm grateful. I'm not into this dark web. My algorithm is all like baseball and Martin Scorsese. I didn't like. Duncan Trussell last night was talking about some crazy shit he sees on the internet, like children shooting each other. And then I was on your mom's house, and they were like showing videos of dicks being peeled back and inserting cushions into dicks.
Cushions?
Or what, I don't know, something where they put. Do you know what it is? They had some guy had a big pad under his hand. They're putting. I don't even know what it is. Like, do you know what I'm talking about, Jamie? Like they were
pad under his hand?
Yeah, it's some. I don't know the terminology. Like people put like horns on their dick. It's some kind of like product that makes bumps in you.
Yeah, body. What is body modification?
Yeah, one guy had like it looked like a spider on his palm or whatever the fuck this is. The top of your hand.
Yeah, they do. They give themselves horns and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, bumps all over their head.
Head west on Stuttgarter Strasse. Continue.
I don't know what made me think of that. Oh, just that those videos exist. I wasn't getting those. I feel so naive. I'm like, did you see this Tommy Lasorda saying motherfucker video? And other people are looking at dicks being altered.
Yeah, if you can get in the wrong algorithm on Instagram, it can be quite disturbing. And I'm definitely in the wrong algorithm.
We gotta get you back. I
don't think I can get back. I think they have me now, because if they send it my way, I'm gonna look at it, because there's so many murder videos.
Well, I feel like I just was saying this recently, like, it took me a long time to really get got by the algorithm. Like, I was kind of like, I don't know what that is, but they finally figured me out, and it's like behind the scenes baseball sports shit, people talking shit in the locker room,
that's what
or
you like?
that, and like and filmmakers breaking down Kubrick or whatever. You know John Boy, you know that guy on YouTube?
No, I don't.
Oh, he's awesome.
Yeah?
It's a great hole to go down. We were talking about it before. He lip reads all these baseball fights and arguments. You know, when the umpire and manager are fighting each other, he's like a professional lip reader, and he's hilarious. And there's a million video. You got to see it. JOM Boy. He's you'll love it. Get in that algorithm because he's awesome. But it's fucking hilarious. It's like my childhood prayers have been answered. You always watch the manager umpire scream, and you're like, what the fuck are they saying?
Right, because they probably swear horrible shit at each other.
Oh, it's all cocksucker and other fights. Cocksucker and cocksucking this. And horse shit is the other big one. A lot of horse shit and cocksucker. And I've been trying to get those in my life more.
Bring them back.
Cocksucker's fun.
Cocksucker's fun. Joey Diaz always uses a term of affection.
What's up, cocksucker? Hey, cocksucker.
Yeah, what's up, cocksucker?
Oh, that's
and when he said it, it was fun.
Well, you are bringing joy if you're sucking cock.
You are, but he's not saying it in that way. So there's other ways, like words have different meanings. Like if you catch someone stealing your tire.
In 200 meters, at the roundabout, continue straight onto Kirchheimer Strasse.
What's up, cocksucker?
Right.
It's a different one.
Sure.
But if Joey Diaz calls you out, what's up, cocksucker? You're like, what's up, Joey?
Yeah, it's very sweet. It's all
it's
context.
a different. Yeah, it's also the word. You know, the word can be a term of affection.
I'm not really a call a guy stealing my tire a cocksucker kind of guy. I'm a big 911. I'm like 911.
You just get your tire stolen.
Yeah,
You gotta wait for hours.
Well, I'd call the police and see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends on what kind of guy it is.
Right.
I might be able to fuck him up.
What if
Head southeast towards Nertinger Strasse. Exit the roundabout onto Kirchheimer Strasse. Continue for 4 kilometers.
Yeah.
What, does he have a tire iron?
That's good.
Because that's a weapon.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, where is the tire iron positioned? Because the tire iron is positioned on the actual lug nut itself. You're at an advantage.
Right, I could probably take his back, as they say.
Yeah, you gotta smash him before he gets to that thing.
Now, let me ask you this. If you see a guy, he's crouched down, he's fucking with your car, and you're behind him, are you going blunt force to the head, or are you going to take his back and choke him out?
Depends on how big the guy is. Depends on the situation. You hit someone with shoes on. It's really tricky legally.
Hit someone with shoes on?
Yeah.
What do you mean, them or you?
You hit them with your shoes. It's kind of a weapon.
Really?
Yeah, I think they look at it differently. I think even if you had these things on, like Hoka's, like run sneakers, I think it's still a weapon, which is ridiculous because it's actually way softer than if I hit you with my bones.
So you're gonna take your shoes off to kick a guy?
No, but I'm saying whether I would hit him while they're doing that, I'd probably say something first and see how they react, but be ready to hit him.
Because it feels like though, if you fucking punch a guy or kick a guy as hard as you can, he might have a strong jaw but I feel like choking a person.
Yeah, choking works most of the time unless the guy knows how to fight.
Yeah.
What if he has really good defense and you realize that immediately and you forgot to put the second hook in because you were trying to stand up?
Right.
And then all of a sudden he spun towards you and you're like, oh my God, he's trained, and he gets an underhook and then he trips you. Now he's on top and you're in fucking half guard on the concrete and he's headbutting you.
And he's got a tire. That was an old joke I tried doing about my level of fighting is if the person's cooperating, I can beat them.
Here it is. Any object made or adapted for the purposes of inflicting death or serious physical injury can be considered a deadly weapon. For example, a shoe or a shod foot used for kicking may be considered a dangerous weapon. That's dangerous or deadly, though, right? Because someone can... We saw... What was that movie? Where... What was the curb stomp movie? That's American History X, right?
Yeah.
That was like 2 weapons. The curb was a weapon too, and then there was the boot.
That was unsettling. What is a shod foot for those of us unfamiliar?
I had to check. It is a shoe or a foot with a shoe on it.
So what about flip-flops? What if you kick someone you're wearing flip-flops? Is that a
that was a shoed foot. I feel like that was a typo somewhere. They just went with it. Shod?
Shod foot.
Is that a word? Shod?
Yeah.
It means with the shoe?
It means there's a shoe on your foot. Yeah.
I mean, that should be shoed. I mean, this is easy. This is obvious. Don't you think?
It should be shoed.
What's like?
Why is it shod?
Do you know the mound to home plate is 60 feet 6 inches because it was they did it with pencil, and the second one was supposed to be 60 feet even, but the 0 looked like a 6. That's why it remains 60 feet 6 inches.
Really?
In 600 meters, turn right towards Denkendorfer Strasse, Kermener Strasse.
It's like not a typo, a righto, whatever you call it.
Right.
I feel like that was shod. I feel like they just left the E off. Shoed.
I think it's more like a proper.
In 400 meters, at the roundabout, take the first exit onto Deitzieauer Strasse.
Thou shalt not thing.
That's gay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shod. Your feet are shod.
Yeah, I get it.
You
I don't
know?
like it.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna say shoed.
I think it's a proper thing. Is
The
it?
shot is Middle English,
See?
meaning put shoes on or provide.
In 50 meters, at the roundabout, take the second exit onto Furtstrasse.
Shoe. So
Yeah, that stinks.
stupid.
Shod sucks.
Well, that's what's weird that we have English words in England that are spelled different than the way they're spelled in America.
Yeah, there's still, you see, like, there's old OLDE, town with an E, and there's,
Tires with a Y.
oh, I don't know that one. And then there's,
Color with a U.
yes,
Couleur.
flavor, there's a few of those, yeah. Oh,
Yeah. But it's like the same language. Like, why are you guys fucking with the different words?
Yeah, I don't like it one bit.
And what are you doing on the left side of the road, bitch?
Yeah.
We invented the car. Get the fuck over on the other side.
I heard it was from jousting.
Yep.
Is that something?
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, supposedly.
Have you ever driven out there?
I have not.
I've done it a few times. It's a thrill.
I would imagine it would be a little bit nerve-wracking to be on the wrong side of the road.
It is. I got
Better route available.
advice is that the driver's always in the middle of the road. That's really helpful. So like you're closer to the middle than the other end, which is the same here and there. You know what I mean?
No.
Like you're on the right side of the car, but the left side of the road in England.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look out the window, the middle of the road is right there. The line is next to you. And the reverse here in America, you're on the left side of the car, but the right side of the road. So
I
you
see
look
what
out
you're
the
saying.
window. Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
So that's helpful. But I've only ever done it with one other, like my wife in the car, because you need a second person to be like, don't forget. Driving alone, I feel like I could fuck it up.
Yeah, you could fall back into the pattern and then all of a sudden see yourself in the oncoming headlights.
Yeah. I think that's what happened to
Matthew
Broderick. Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but it's also like just the shifting and everything. If you're operating a manual, shifting now with your left hand instead of your right, that would be bizarre.
No, I couldn't do that. I have a friend who's like a big driver guy, and he said that was the one thing he couldn't do because it was just too many things.
Yeah, because is the clutch still on the left-hand side? It is. So it's clutch, brake, accelerator, all in the same order, but now you're doing this. And then which side do you do it? Do you start far left, or you just start far right and move that way? You don't do that, do you? That's what's weird, right?
Yeah.
If you're operating a manual transmission and you're in the English side, where's first gear? Is first gear up and to the left?
That is a great question. No, it's probably closer to you, up and to the right.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah.
Can I see that?
I think it's the same. We'll look at it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
that's
would
fucked
imagine
up.
the thing, what they would have to do, that would be really hard to do, I think, for transmissions.
One of the hardest part for me was I kept putting the windshield wipers on with the blinker because you're used to the blinker being over here. So every single fucking time I would turn the windshield wipers on.
Yeah. I love a good windshield wiper stock. That's one thing that bums me out about my Tesla.
What's a stock?
It's a little stock. Little thing that does the windshield wipers.
Head north on Friedrichstrasse towards Schäfersteiger.
You know,
In 150 meters, turn left onto Esslingen Strasse.
it sticks out of the steering wheel. Little thing that does the blinkers.
Oh. I'm thinking of the windshield wiper itself. The little...
Turn left onto Esslingen Strasse.
Blinkers.
You don't have that?
No, everything's
a button.
Everything's this.
Yeah, button
There's
stick.
buttons on the steering wheel to change lanes. There's buttons for